Every great craftsman has a workshop, a place where he can thrive and flourish in his trade. And I don't have that. Most of the time, I'm stuck doing all of my work in the driveway, and I'm sick of that. If I want to become a better blacksmith, bladesmith, and carpenter, I need my own space where I can grow in the crafts that I practice. In short, I need a workshop. And if I can't make myself one, it will be next to impossible to cultivate my skills. Thankfully, I already have an unused space that could be converted into a fully functional workshop. I built this tiny home when I was 13 and it never gets used. I gotta get all this stuff out of here. Not ready for all the spiders I'm gonna find in here.
So I not only had to build a workshop, which is a challenge in itself, I also had to make sure huge spiders weren't about to jump scare me.
All right, get this bed out of here. I'm sad to see it go.
I was pretty sad that I was taking apart my tiny home, but I just really needed my own place to work that wasn't in the driveway.
The ladder has to go. I wonder who built this thing.
There really wasn't any use for the ladder anymore, so I just took it apart.
Well, that's great. Oh, joy. I thought I would sleep out here like every night when I was building this. No. Oh, wonder who built this thing. That was way too easy to take apart. Jeez. Well, maybe I can use it for something else.
With that step done, it was finally time to start building.
I'm gonna be turning this bed right here into the workbench. So all I'm gonna do is just move it up on the wall and we'll be good. Oh, it's a chunky one. It's not even the biggest one here though. I had to take apart some of the boards. All right, so the thing is detached. Now I just need to move it up.
For some reason, the workbench wasn't cooperating and I couldn't move it up easy, so I had to recruit my dad to help.
So the workbench is set for the most part. I just need to fix it up a little bit still. It's a little bit unlevel. Big head in the way. So everything is level, and now all I need to do is put these boards on. I think everything I've used so far is reclaimed material. Like this nail is super bent, but still gonna try to use it. I don't want to spend money. Forget what I said about reclaiming materials because I really don't want to take every single nail out of it.
Well, I ended up using all reclaimed material. Because why would I spend the whopping $5 I have in my bank account on some boards and nails when I have all the materials I could need right there? I don't know why I even thought about buying things because it took me about 5 minutes to get all the materials I needed.
So I don't think I put this together right because this board doesn't fit perfectly here. So I just have to grip this a little bit and then it should fit good. All right, let's cut this thing. Well, it's all right. Not perfect, but it'll work.
And with that final board in, the first part of the project was complete. But there was still a lot more work to do if I wanted to turn this thing into a workshop.
All right, so this thing is a little flimsy still, so I'm gonna put a support right here. I'm just gonna reuse this 2x4 and make a little notch right here.
This whole project was nostalgic. About this time 3 years ago, I was undertaking the biggest project of my life at that time. I had set out to build a tiny home, and while I didn't know it then, it was the start of something life-changing. The experience I gained from that project was astronomical, and it set me down a path of craftsmanship. It's a memory I will never forget. Looking back on it, it's kind of crazy how much my skills have grown over the past few years. And in this exact spot 3 years ago, I cut a 2x4 just like how I'm doing now. I'm so grateful to God for these abilities, and I hope and pray that I will continue to be able to do things like this.
Oh, this thing is dull.
Yeah, it's probably time to sharpen this saw too, but since I don't know how, I probably won't take the time to figure out how to do it, so it's just gonna stay dull for like the rest of my life. And would you look at that, my chisel is dull too.
Dullest chisel ever.
Wow, who would have thought?
I think this is gonna work.
The support fit pretty well, and it'll get the job done.
Looks good. Cool.
And with that final screw in, I was one step closer to having myself a workshop. Alright, the workbench is done for the most part, so now I'm going to move on to the top bunk. I'm going to cut it in half, and then... Yeah, I really had nothing else to say there. But it was time to make myself a shelf, and I was getting a little bit scared because there was only one method I could think of that would work. How am I going to do this? Oh, hey. I'm gonna get yelled at for this in the comments. I mean, look at that face of pure terror. I don't know why I wasn't wearing glasses. That was probably dumb looking back on it. But look at how terrified I was. That was scary. But thankfully I got it all cut without losing any eyes or fingers, so that's good. I just missed a little piece that I had to snip off with a multi-tool. Originally, I just planned on cutting the top bunk in half and then leaving it, but I thought it looked kind of janky and I just didn't like how it looked. Instead, I took the front board off and swapped it out with the middle supports. It was actually a lot harder than I thought it would be, but I think it ended up looking so much better in the end. Some of the boards up here broke, so I had to replace them. This has got to be the smallest pallet I've ever seen. Like, look at this thing. It's tiny. Going back to my point before, I didn't want to have to spend any more money than I had to, so I just reused this old pallet. Gotta notch this one in though. I found another one. Ooh, that's scary. I thought they all died. There's like 5 frosts already. So there was a stud in the way where I needed to put this board, so I just tried cutting it with my super dull saw, and that didn't work. So I threw it in the vise and cut it there instead. It gave me a better angle, and it cut super easy. And because I didn't feel like cutting that whole long length with the saw, I just chiseled it out instead. And it kind of worked, but because my chisels are dull, like everything else, it was alright. After that was complete, I took it out of the vise and threw it up there. It ended up fitting pretty well. And then I got my big hand in the way of the shop, so that was kind of annoying. So I finished the shelf in here. However, I still don't have much room in here, so I'm going to take up the table that is right here. I thought taking videos of me removing the table would be boring, so I did this lame edit that didn't really even work. I was a little bit sad to see it go because I had made so many memories around that table, but I just really needed my own space for this workshop. I can probably end up using the tabletop for something, but right now, I don't know what to do with it. Alright, the workbench is done, the shelf is done. Now I can start putting my tools in here. It's about time I had my own space to work. That wasn't in the driveway. I also got quite a few new tools, like a file set. Got a whole bunch of them. Little files, big files. That's pretty cool. And I also got some punches. So that's pretty cool. And then, wait, there's more. Got myself a hardy hole insert, like a hot cut thing. So, I'm stepping up my forging game. Hopefully I can make knives and axes better now. Oh yeah, I coated my forge with refractory cement, so I'm not gonna die of lung cancer. Still a little bit wet in here, even after 36 hours of drying. So I'm just gonna light this thing up. I don't think I did it right because it's like smoking and it's burning. So on my last blacksmithing video where I made a sword, I got probably 50 comments telling me to raise up your anvil, raise up your anvil. And I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner. I literally could have just plopped this stump right here. I could have saved myself my back. So yeah, I'm gonna move my anvil up here now. I'm gonna try forging something with the new setup and see how everything works. The anvil was a comfortable height, but because I'm still kind of a beginner, I didn't really make anything. And with that final step complete, I can now say that I have my very own fully functional workshop. And now I can handle any of the crazy project ideas that I have. And if you want to see what my very first forging setup looked like, click this link right here.